Papa Bear's porridge may have been a little bit too sweet. Mama Bear's porridge may have been perhaps not sweet enough. But Valtteri Bottas's porridge, oh, that is the tasty stuff. That is bang on. Welcome back to another episode of our Formula 1 2019 mid-season driver reviews. I think if you haven't worked out already, today we're talking about the porridge master himself, Valtteri Bottas. We've got 7 more of these to do, including today's episode. So over the next few days, before we get to the Belgian Grand Prix, which is this week, ladies and gents, hopefully we can get through the rest of these. They're not long, but 7 more drivers to go. 3 drivers from the big teams, starting with Valtteri. How do we all see Valtteri's season so far? Because in the first race of the year, in Australia, where you're seeing the first couple of images now, qualified P2 behind Lewis Hamilton, drove a really good race, won the first race of the season. On the podium, he put it down to his porridge. The media put it down to his beard. And this Valtteri 2.0 that came into Formula 1, everyone was thinking, oh my God, can he actually take the fight to Hamilton? Is that actually possible? This is a guy who last year didn't quite get the luck on his side, but also was very inconsistent in 2018. And we thought, wow, is he going to be able to change this around? We're now 12 races in, and Hamilton has won 8 races. He's on 250 points. Valtteri is on 2 race wins, 188 points. That's quite a sizable gap, and one that I think, looking back at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, only the 4th race of the season, Hamilton had won 2, Bottas had then won 2 because he won in Azerbaijan. It looked like the two of them were going to have this monumental title fight, a little bit Hamilton-Rosberg-esque, and yet over the past 5 or so Grand Prix, that seems to have, I don't know, fickled out just a little bit. Bottas almost, I want to say, level with Hamilton in qualifying this year. Whether that's Valtteri stepping it up in qualifying or Hamilton dropping off a little bit, it's hard to tell. Both of them on 4 pole positions each. The quali battle is 7-5 to Hamilton, but we're talking about Lewis Hamilton here, the best statistical Formula 1 qualifier of all time. So Valtteri has definitely been doing a better job on Saturday. It's just on Sunday where I think there's been glimpses of what happened last year, where, I mean, Hungary, last time out, a prime example. Qualified in front of Lewis, made a mistake on that opening lap, contact, ends up having to stop really early, trying to fight through a field on a circuit where overtaking is super difficult, ends up being painted as an awful Grand Prix weekend where, you know what, one tiny mistake on the opening lap really hurt him. And that's not me trying to defend him, because he's in a position now where if you want to be fighting for titles, you shouldn't be making mistakes. And so I find myself in this weird loop with Valtteri Bottas where it seems to me this year he's really wanted to cement himself within Mercedes and prove to them he can be world champion. But even now, in the summer break, it seems to be that the team are questioning whether he really is their man to be the team leader in a couple of years down the line if Lewis Hamilton leaves. He just hasn't had that consistency. Germany, a prime example for him to claw back a whole host of points over Lewis Hamilton, get right back into championship contention, bins it, out of turn 1, chasing down the leader. Moments like that obviously define a championship, but at the moment for Valtteri Bottas, they're going to lose his drive and ultimately define his entire career just from, I don't know, a string of 4 or 5 mistakes. Okay, it's not just been mistakes that have hurt Valtteri this year. Silverstone, another brilliant example of where things haven't quite gone right for him. Qualified on pole, we all know how good Hamilton is in Silverstone, especially in quali. So to do that in itself, awesome job. The race itself, he defended from Hamilton exquisitely. It was so beautiful to see. Hamilton had got the move done in left field, I want to say. Valtteri then got the move back through Copse, of all places. If you don't know corners, apologies, but put it this way, it was a pretty awesome re-overtake and controlled the pace beautifully, but lost out to a safety car. Hamilton practically got a free pit stop. Valtteri, who was on a different strategy anyway, that has to be pointed out, didn't end up anywhere near Hamilton at the end. Had to do an extra stop and ended up a comfortable margin behind. But that being said, that was a weekend where he really seemed to be the man in form, and it's another time where you think, what could have been? You look at China, qualified on pole, lost out in the opening phase of the race. Azerbaijan, where he got pole, he went on to win that particular weekend. Spain, another track Hamilton is supreme at. Hamilton went on to win. Bottas again from pole, P2. And again, that has happened with Hamilton this year. He has qualified pole and ended up P2. Mercedes at the beginning of the year was so dominant that just was the norm at the time. 1-2 for the first 5 Grand Prix. It probably would have happened again in Monaco if Verstappen didn't have contact with Bottas in the pits. So there's been little things like that which really haven't helped Valtteri this year. But that's a perfect example as well. After Monaco, just took him a couple of races to refine that mojo, and it's been that inconsistency for me this year that hasn't helped Valtteri's cause. It's been a big improvement from last year, but when I'm looking at all of the other driver ratings I have given so far, I'm going to give Valtteri a 7, which I think perhaps is a little bit harsh, and maybe I want to push it up towards an 8, but I only gave Lewis Hamilton an 8, so I think that's unfair to give them the same ranking when Hamilton is comfortably been the better of the two over the course of the season so far. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Another one of these is coming out today. I know, we're leaving it a little bit late on today, but another one's coming out a little bit later. Put it this way, it's not a driver in the top 3 teams, but it is a driver that's been on the podium so far this year. I wonder who it could be. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.